Well, there you go. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. Kathleen?
Miss Emily?
And you at home? Jake, give me my own camera with people at home. I want to welcome you. I want to pull you into this show. I want to get you off your seat and get you excited. And I've got, give Kathleen her own camera over there.
Oh. Well,
I've got Kathleen to help me.
Thank you. I'm glad to be supportive in whatever way I can.
So today, let's talk about, to start with, why we're calling it organic politics. And what is organic politics? And what is organic politics to you, Kathleen?
Well, it's a way of putting the humanness back into the government, you know, by the grassroots stories, because so many people have a story to tell. I think most people here have a story to tell that is on the planet for more than, you know, a few months. And a way of actually taking, you know, in your own control, back your own power by being involved in listening to your neighbor and what that is going on. Through the implementation of the rules that are coming at us all the time from our governments.
Now, when I was thinking about organic politics, I was thinking about, you know, how you buy organic food that doesn't have pesticides, doesn't have this, that, the other, and how we need government that doesn't have greed, that doesn't have control issues, that doesn't have just this idiotic idea that they're smarter and have to protect us from ourselves.
Well, it sounds to me like a lot of work and fantasizing must happen to create such an endeavor. And so this show is for us to come together in the community, and we're going to find a way to hook up phone lines so we can talk at the time of airing. We're coming around to it. This is new to us. Meanwhile, we want to be a part of the daily lives of the governmental, you know, like I said, things coming down on all of us, you know.
Wait. We want to be a part of the daily life
I love
of the
my government. I love my government. I don't like all the people and the rules.
I don't love the government. I love the people. I love nature. I love Earth. You love the government?
I do.
Girl.
I know. See how we're going to have to view this?
But you did say we got to come together, and I do believe that's a good way to be. So much so that I have developed the Together Party and a Together platform. Now, the Together Party is something for everyone. It has no hierarchy, and let's go over the 10 signs of a Together person that could be a member of this party. You know what the first sign is?
What's the first sign?
A Together person is a person who doesn't wear a suit to work.
What about a Vermont-style hat? Can a person go to work looking like this?
And be a Together person?
I love Vermont for letting me look like that.
Absolutely. Give me another sign of a Together person. What's another sign of a Together person? Come on, I got a bunch that are going to roll.
I'm listening. Then you give them to me.
Somebody who isn't greedy. Somebody who gives. Somebody
that's able to like share something without the idea of something coming back, and did it because they could.
Somebody
wanted to.
A Together person isn't busy keeping up with the Joneses. A Together person doesn't. What else? What else does a Together person do?
I would suppose not walk by their neighbor and see things and just, you know, put the blinders on. A Together person would go, oh, hey, let me help you there. Or you know.
Yeah, but what if your neighbor is like like one of mine, which is like really foul junk coming up and a really mean, nasty little wizard of a man. I mean, how you can't help them.
Well, what does help mean when you come up with that idea? So here you go. You got to understand that help could be just letting him alone.
That's true. Now, I've been running in politics. You know, running in these what are they called? Races. You know, we've talked about how privatized the elections are, despite our Constitution. Oh my God.
Oh, you're God.
No, it's Jake. He's the techno god.
Oh, it's okay. Jake doesn't mind listening to our story.
Yeah, okay. But at any rate, so we know that elections are about our shrink-wrapped, cellophane-wrapped ideas of what is Republican and Democrat. And we put those two puppets together, we see them go like this, you know, fight, and then you get to choose between one of them. But they aren't about real together people.
That was interesting. I bet you were a weaver in another life. It's just a guess over here.
Anyways, today...
Going back to that list of 10, what else do you have? I think we didn't...
I don't have them right here, but I do want to get to everything we have today. And yesterday was tax day, and our last show was about taxes. So I wanted to share with our listeners, I get to talk... I'm talking to you, listeners.
There you go.
That our dear Kathleen was amongst the tax resistors in Brattleboro, and she got covered. She was playing out on April 15th with people who do not pay taxes. These are people who see taxes for what they are and act on them. And at the same day, we also had the bombings in Boston, the bombings in Boston. So, you know, as Jake was pointing out, they're now going to crack down on security in Boston, and you won't be able to go into the subways without having a proctologist. Then that's essentially what we're seeing.
And I heard they closed those colleges down, and so there's a limited amount of those proctologists available, you know, so...
We missed that joke. We're flat. What does a proctologist do?
I don't know. Anyway, so they're going to be involved in a very serious search and seizure is what it's coming down to, is that this is going to implement the reason to search your brother if he's brown or brown.
You can't go on the subway now without being subjected to searches. And you know, the people that just accept it, well, you and me, and we know that the government is looking for the reasons to be much more on top of everything we do and in our business, up and in our computers, up and in our business with taxes and fees and licenses, and this is another...
They do, and I want to mention that, you know, being a tax resistor does not come without problems from the Social Security IRS, because they do garnish your wages and stuff, such as they did mine, for what it is that happens. And there's small things you have to, it's like everybody has to rise up and realize it's going to cost them something in order to say no to the man, because that's...
Yeah, but we're here to do it together. Now I want to get...
We are.
I want to get into your story. It's not a story, your facts. But we also have this wonderful man from Bellows Falls who really lays it out, the total idiocy of what we're expected to do just in order to carry out our daily life and integrate as business people. So shall we roll the clip now?
Let's roll that clip.
You okay with that?
Okay, first I'd like to start off by saying that I've been a barber in the state of Vermont since 1960, which they don't have here. And the old saying is, if it's not broke, don't fix it, doesn't qualify here. I have been here for 30 some odd years, and I have not had any problems, but I got investigated by the State Barber and Licensing Board, and they informed me that I needed a shop license, which I never have had and didn't know a thing about. So I asked the lady to give me the number to the licensing board. I called over. I said, I bought this shop in 1983. I said, the lady informs me that I'm supposed to have a shop license. I said, when I bought it in 1983, it belonged to a fellow by the name of John Haller, and they called the shop Haller's Barber Shop. Could you give me the number of his shop license? Because I've never seen one. They said, we're sorry, we don't have a Haller's Barber Shop listed here. I turned to Mrs. White and I said, that means I still have to close? I do nothing about this shop license. You're closed. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. I was supposed to close. So then they find me in my bathroom, which is not a public bathroom, but she went in there and it had a plywood floor. So, and I had a doorway. I mean, the TV can show us probably if we take a walk. My sink is out there with hot water, but anyways, in here, I had to put down a tile floor, which my landlord let me have it cost. I had to put in a fan, which my landlord gave me. I had to, this was my hallway for my cleaning supplies. I guess I can't. And I had to have a door put on here so no one could get in there. I had to have hot water put in my sink. I had to put up a towel rack. I had to have waste baskets with covers on them for some reason. This here, with the electrician, the plumbing, and the carpentry work, cost me around $1,000, which that place is not used by only myself, maybe a couple times a month, maybe someone else. And they usually use the sink out here, and I tell them I have my towel here and soap and whatnot. Anyways, we got that done. Now, we've come up with a law from the officers over there, a new law, which I hadn't heard of. Well, I hadn't heard of quite a few of them, but one of them is here. I have to take this spray after every customer gets in the chair. I have to sweep the floor and spray this in the chair and wipe it down and clean it before the next gentleman can get in the chair. We used to, as barbers, for a long time, just say next. But anyways, so, you know, I don't know who came up with this law and why they think it's very important. You know, we've got kindergartens and high schools and opera houses and ballparks and you name it. Do they have to wipe the chair every time someone moves? That doesn't make sense. I don't know who I don't want to say a bad word about the person who made this law, but that's kind of foolish as far as I'm concerned. Right here, we have a blood spatter kit I have to have. I mean, I've never seen a whole lot of blood in the barber shop, and I have to have rubber gloves. This kit costs 16 bucks. It's only good for 2 years, whether you use it or not. I don't imagine I'll ever use it. You know, if I nick somebody, a mole or something in the back of the neck, I've usually wiped it off with a cotton, and I have styptic pencils that I use for their neck. I don't believe I can probably sell this shop, but I asked the Secretary of State, Mr. Condos, he follows up, he says that these things have to be done because I tried to get hold of the governor and I asked a guy that I talked to, I said, could you please listen to me? I've just been inspected by the state. And I said, here are the things that they've done. Excuse me if I'm short of breath because I have COPD. But anyways, he listened to me very politely. And I mean, when I got through, he says, you know, you really have some serious issues. He said, do you have paperwork there? I said, I do. He said, put it in a manila envelope and send it to us. I did. For 3 or 4 days later, I called, and a woman answered. I said, you know, I had a nice talk with a gentleman about my inspection. Is there anything being done about it? Well, what do you mean? I said, well, I sent up an envelope, no envelope. I had a canceled check for $300 I had to pay for supposedly to get a shop license, which I haven't got, and I don't know if a shop license costs $300 or if it's just a fine because I haven't had one. But anyways, I sent that check up there with this, and when I called back, I just had a lady, and she said, I don't think, and then I said it's something else. Oh my God, she says it's right here. We'll look at it right off and we'll get back to you. 3 or 4 more days went by, never heard a thing. I called up again. Oh, I think it's been read, and I think you might have some justifiable points, but I said, and you can't help me. Thank you very much. That's all I heard there. I also called a lady. I have to have, they call them some kind of papers here. I had to send to my supplier to get what they call material safety data sheet. Now, I called up about this and I said, and a woman answered, I said, what is the importance of my having this? And she said, oh my gosh, she says, that is very important. She says, if a child should drink a bottle of your hair tonic, I said, ma'am, hold it right there, please. I said, you know, I'm the only one who comes into this shop. I have a key. I come in, when I go home, I have a key, I lock the shop. And if you think for a minute that I'm gonna stand and watch a kid drink a bottle of my hair tonic, something's wrong. And I said, you know, you go over to the grocery stores, any of the public stores, you'll find all these stuff, the same as my cleaning stuff, laying out on shelves. Any kid could get hold of it. They don't have to lock that up. So, you know, I don't have much more to say except for, you know, I would think that this gentleman here, Jim Condos, would take a second look into this. I mean, it would be nice if the people who are supposed to represent us and help us to keep our business flowing and things going would come around and say, oh, let's see, what can we do for the barbers or the beauticians? I think they just pull a sheet down and say, look, we're bureaucrats and we've got to pass some laws or we're not going to do our jobs. And they care less about the pain that causes carpenters, painters, all kinds of small businesses in the town of Vermont. They're overlawed, Okay, first I'd like to start off by...
Wow.
Oh my God.
You know, that's amazing how one word can change a man's life when the government didn't notice that one word for 30 years.
What about their neglect? Anyways, I got an idea. We worked up a plan. Is that this is a plan that we're going to go to Mike the barber, or to Mike, just plain old Mike. We think that's your name. And we're going to go outside your shop, and I'm going to give you a gift. I'm going to give you a gift of maybe of money, maybe something else, maybe it's eggs or something. And he's going to give me a gift. I'm going to say, can you trim this? Right?
Aren't you allowed to gift him the $11? Because I saw his numbers there on the wall, $11, you know?
You know what, but you said, aren't you allowed? The whole problem is having this idea that they are supposed to dictate every last segment of our life. Why do we have to ask or worry if we're allowed or not when we know we're doing something good? When are we going to get the balls to do the right thing and do the good things anyways?
Well, people have been doing it, okay? And they're doing it all the time, and that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And, you know, and this man danced for compliance. You've seen it cost him $1,000 in repairs.
Idiot stuff, like the bathroom stuff.
And it's governmental policy there to help those two people who went to the bathroom that year. And that's...
But his point about...
It's a fact of shutting him down.
Right,
and finding him.
Right.
And the, you know,
micromanaging.
hair tonic You know, and in the clip about the grocery store thing he was talking about, I'm like, oh God, you're right.
Yeah, I love that point.
I can get Drano on the bottom run there, and Comet and bleach. And
we could get one of our kids and we could go in there and show how they could just open it up and
we don't need a kid. I'm already a kid, and we already know, everybody knows that there's a lot of toxic stuff available to you in your
So we got to do something about it together. We know we were all going to write this new script together. Now, Kathleen
and that's organic politics.
That's the way it's all together. Yeah.
Visibility,
equality,
truth,
honor, not greed, generosity.
It doesn't sound like our government too much at this time, but like I said, I was born in Dallas, Texas. You don't know it, but now you do. And I've been a person that loves my country. I love my country very much. I've watched a lot of things happen over the years to my country, and my country is my neighbor like you and my people. The ones that I don't even know I'm calling my people, because I love so many people I've never met. It's easy to do when your heart is being a human being. And big politics affect everybody on a local level. And I am personally affected on a local level. I also own a business to where I made over $400 a month. You heard me. And I made less than a couple $100,000. And they garnished my Social Security at $79. They took it out of my payment because I am disabled, like I said. And makes it really hard to want to reach up and go, okay, I'm 50 years old, I'm disabled. God, I'm not done though. My mind goes, my body's broken, but my mind's not done. Create something else. Get out and recreate it. And as I do that, there is a microscope on me. A person who made less than $6,000 last year. On me.
What about your fuel assistance check? Tell them about that.
I got a $5 fuel assistance check for my 3rd year in a row. This year I didn't receive that yet. I'm not sure why. But the $5 was I was one of the 122,000 families that got helped. Okay, it's like a small loophole of things.
Yeah, right. You know? So they can brag that they brought home all this fuel assistance and they gave you $5. But now I have to address something, and it's not easy because it might not be easy for you to talk about. Maybe we should talk about another show. To the listener, to the watcher, they might say, oh, you're scamming the system.
By what?
By being disabled.
Oh God, they haven't seen my vertebrae and neck and everything, and they would just go, oh, how do you walk and move? I live because Vermont has allowed me the ability to really get my footing, and I believe in it. And what happened to me with my Social Security stuff was that one office was not talking to the other office. And when they finally did, they reinstated it and corrected it. Meanwhile, it still took that amount out of my little bit of money, down to, let's see, $241,
You're supposed to live everything.
And it was already $318. That's what I was used to. I was already used to
a wealth, a treasure trove. Oh my goodness.
Standard deduction on my Social Security payment check, hold on, is larger than the payment of which they give me. And it has a few typed up words for what it is they take out of there. And so there's a lot of misleading numbers, even in what it is here. If it wouldn't be for the aid of the state of Vermont to me, I would not be able to eat, sleep, or have a home. And I'm very grateful, because I don't have the ability to unbreak my neck and unbreak my back and the things that I have to suffer through to be called disabled. But my mind still works, and I can work with you sitting over here on my butt, and hopefully we can all come up together with a way of going, okay, I'm broken, but I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm part of this
So
thing.
the people are broken but not done. I like that. We're broken but we're not done.
But we're not done.
We're not done.
You got something to read over here?
I do,
heard.
I do. And it's going to take a minute. And I wanted to have music, so you can do music in between, okay? Because this actually, I picked up down at the Allen's store. It's a Catholic publication, and we're going to keep it Christian. I'm everything, but at any rate, this publication often has a lot of really good things. The front of it is talking about the global control through the RFID chip, but what I like about this magazine is it's stuff about money. So shall I sink into this story?
Taxes, money, goes together. Go ahead.
Okay. The name of the story is The True Owners of Money, and it's by Gilberte Certe Mercier. Money must be created by the earth's inhabitants. Okay, this is what it goes. Let us imagine an isolated island, be the island, far away from the rest of the world.
I'm far away.
And living on this island are 10 men. Where's the women?
I don't know. Leave me out of it and read the story.
Okay. These 10 men are good workers, and they know how to take advantage of the riches of the island. Each man exercises his trade. Peter cultivates the earth. Louis breeds animals, etc. One day, Peter is tired of eating just vegetables. So he goes to find Louis to ask him to exchange a calf with some potatoes. But Louis doesn't like potatoes, and so he refuses to give him the calf. So Peter says, "Please, Louis, give me the calf in exchange for the potatoes." Louis replies, "What do you give me in return?" "I can give you 20 bags of potatoes." "They don't interest me," says Louis, "so I don't want to make the trade." So Peter returns home with nothing and has to resign himself to eating vegetables, sounds like just potatoes, for a little while longer. Meanwhile, Louis, for his part, had too many cows. He was done with them. He was done with doing the milking. Okay. He really would have liked to exchange them for something else, something that he likes, but not potatoes. It is the same situation each time one of the 10 wants to exchange with the others. Either it is difficult to please the tastes of each one, or it is not the right time, or even it's very difficult to calculate. Sometimes they would have to separate a calf in two in order to adjust to the need. Seeing the difficulties they have in trying to make an arrangement, so the 10 inhabitants of the island gather together in a meeting to discuss the problem. They agree that while the island, I'm trying to give eye contact here, while the island gives them everything they need, but it is not the riches they are lacking, nor the work, but something else. What are they missing that it would make it easier to exchange their products more efficiently? So they all agree that it is, what is it that they're missing?
Money?
Money!
Oh, I didn't want to say that. You tricked me.
But they all agree that it's money that's missing on the island. What a discovery! It's money. Are you missing money? Do you have enough money? Are you missing some money?
I don't know. In my pockets, you wouldn't want to know what's in my pockets.
Oh, let's see what's in your pockets. Let's compare.
You really want to know what's in my pockets?
Yeah, I want to see what's in your pockets. I'll show you what's in my pockets.
All
We
right.
haven't finished the story, but
All right.
you take a break from the story, right?
All right.
Oh, that's nice. That's like money.
It's better than money, see? I would have took that over money any day. And in the other pocket,
Another stone, a couple of
But this is a really good stone. It's warm, my thumb fits it. You know, I can ponder, which is very important to organic politics.
Yeah, and you
is to
pondered,
ponder.
and you pondered the right thing. You pondered that they were missing
What's
money.
in your pockets? You just got me. You got money and a
I
flashlight?
got a flashlight. I got double
Pens,
pens. Pens are
thing.
mightier than a sword.
I'm putting mine back.
I got a keys with another flashlight. See, I want to shed light on the
Oh my
situation.
goodness.
And what did I have?
And money.
70 Something like
She
under
wants-
$1.
She wants to be the change she wishes to see in the world.
There you go. Okay, back to the story. Back to the story. Okay. Our 10 men do not like the governments today. Wait, what a discovery! It is money that is missing on the island. And as they have common sense and did not meet just to discuss the issue, they decide that since it is money that is missing, so what they need to do is create money. That's the way you and I think. That's the way we should all think together, that we will create what we need.
When I was a kid, we made money out of like kidney beans and stuff, and we'd separate a nice big pile out until everybody was happy.
Yeah, we used matchsticks at the poker games.
They took the matches away from me early.
Anyway, I got to get through this before they... This is
go ahead,
pressure,
go ahead,
pressure.
sorry.
Okay, and I'm only here. I got to go to here. Okay. Our 10 men do not act like the governments today. When they find out that money is lacking in the country and conclude that they need to increase taxes, they don't start by increasing taxes or starting a war. They decide to create money on their own. Let us make money for ourselves, they say. We will make money, we, the men of this island. They do not think for a moment about going to find spirits from another world or men from other countries to make the money for them. They decide to make it for themselves. Sounds like Vermonters to me. Remember Irene?
Well, I
they,
do.
Yeah, okay. They
people
decide to do
coming
it
together.
themselves. Yeah. In fact, among us we have James. That's a good name. Who was formerly a bank manager. A good name for a formerly bank manager too. And he knows how to count.
Bankers know money, remember? That's why they gave it back to them.
And they like to count. James, make us some money, they say. And James says, you can't read, can you? You don't want to be James, huh? I got to be
I
James.
can't do it. Finish this story. I ain't.
Perfect. I can make you some money. How much money do you need on the island in order that business may go well? They replied, if we could have $1,000 on the island, the exchanges could be made quite smoothly. So James, create the money for us. $100 for each person. So James gets to work. So he uses his pen. He takes a book and writes down Peter's name in this book and puts the amount into Peter's credit of $100. Then he hands the credit book over to Peter, telling him, here is your $100.
You mean that just with the whip of a pen, the creation of money was made like that, and there was no pile of nothing?
Yeah,
it was just written out and then signed over?
Yeah, on this island here.
Kind of like our electronic things that we do?
Yep. He says, here's your $100, Kathleen. It is money of numbers, the most modern kind. This is money that you cannot lose.
So it's a credit then?
And nobody can steal it from you. Peter, I am lending you $100 at the end of the year, you will reimburse me with the entire amount plus $7 interest.
Wow, that's about $3 cheaper than the church. You know, it's 10% for the tithing there. You know?
Peter replied, what? You're lending me $100? You say that. Say it, because you're
What? You lending me $100?
And you want me to reimburse you $100? Say it.
Oh, and you want me to reimburse you $100?
Plus the interest.
Oh, plus the interest. Now, if he's a real shark,
You
like
must be
Bank
joking.
America.
Stick.
Well, wait a minute. I'm taxed at 33%, and I never miss a payment.
Okay, but we're trying to do this story.
Okay, all right.
So you can say, what? You're lending me $100.
What, you lend me $100 and not asking me to do any more clips?
Oh, Jesus, I'm just going to read this. Peter replied, what? Are you lending me $100 and you want me to reimburse you the $100 plus interest? You must be joking, James. I was going to give you that line. It's as if the money you have created belongs to you alone. Since you want me to pay it back to you.
Isn't that a bank he's talking to?
Okay, I hope you guys are with this story because it's really a good story. It's really important. I know we're kind of like, okay. So he says, so Peter says, You are mistaken. We asked you, James, being James, to make money for us and not for you. You will receive your share, $100, like the others, but the $1,000 does not belong to you. Duh. If you lend us $100 with the obligation to pay you back, you, James, it is as if the entire $1,000 belongs to you. But James says, that is the way money is created in civilized countries. And Peter replies, oh, that is the way money is created in civilized countries? That is probably why life is so nice in civilized countries, where people die of hunger in front of abundance, where they go to war to regulate the exchange of money. This kind of civilization does not interest us, James. You will create money for all of us. That means you will create $100 for each one of us, which you will simply give us.
Oh, I got one of them checks once from Obama.
Should I finish this story or should I?
Go ahead.
Should I do it double fast? Double fast? So James understood and gave each man a credit book with $100 listed in the credit columns. On the island, they called this $100 the dividend of the island. I want you to pay attention because we're going to do this. I want you guys to pay attention because we're going to actually do this. So they called this $100 the dividend of the island, and it is based on the production of the island. It is brand new money that is created by James's pen, maybe Emily's pen, that is necessary to allow the inhabitants to exchange their products. And so, as the year goes by very well on the island, and it would go by better around here if we could make more exchanges.
Local farmers markets. There's things stirring.
Let's see. There are no longer arguments at the moment of the exchange of products. Business is prospering so much on the island that the $1,000 is becoming insufficient to buy all that is for sale, and this is not quantitative easing. Since production has been increased quite a bit, there has been great progress on the island. At the end of the year, the 10 men hold a meeting. They consider their problem and notice that the money they created at the beginning of the year had done them much good, but they're still lacking money on the island, considering the trade development. This is sagging. This is just like drooping, and I haven't gotten to the end of the story. I can feel it wilting.
Well, get to the end of the story and help us not wilt.
Okay, how do I do that? You gotta
do it now. Do it now.
They still lack money, so they order James to create new money for them. Peter says, if we receive 25 each, that will be sufficient for now. And so James starts working to create the $25 for everyone. So he puts down the amount in the credit column of everyone's credit book. Peter, who worked for more than Lewis during the year, had an amount of $150 in his credit book. He receives $25 and so has the total of $175. Louis, who had been sick during the year and had the amount of $50 at the end of the year, he also received $25. So he has now $75. The $25 that everyone received added to everyone's credit is the dividend of the year on the island. It is proportional to the island's progress. Our 10 men created the money themselves. They did not ask a usurer to create the money for them. They had more confidence in themselves than the strangers who would come to exploit the producers of the island. Now tell me, is there anybody out here who will listen to this show who actually has more confidence in Bank of America, in the political scene, than they do in themselves?
Well, personally speaking, I take it local. I use a local savings and loan. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
ways to go.
Yeah.
Instead of the big bank, there's the smaller home banks that's more.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
they're getting screwed by. They're getting
That's
screwed
another
too.
story. Meanwhile,
Okay.
I'm telling you the ones available at this time
Yes.
are there.
And get out of
it's
TD
local.
Bank. Get out of TD Bank.
I didn't say anything
Get out
at
of
all
TD
other
Bank.
than yes. Get out
Get
of
out of TD Bank.
and
Get
back
out
in.
of TD Bank. TD
These are
Bank
our
is a major
opinions.
investor in tar sands. So if you think that Peter Shumlin is a green governor, tell me why he and Beth Pierce are so insistent on putting all our taxes into TD Bank North and having TD Bank North buy millions of shares of tar sand to be shipped across the top of our state, spill like it did in Arkansas, which you might not have heard because the major media is
Emily.
controlled. Yeah.
This is definitely something to get excited about on another show.
Okay.
And I bet the listeners are excited to hear that's going to come up, and we will cover that.
Okay,
This
can I
is.
finish the story?
You finish the story. We're ready to go back to it.
Because I got to take a whiz.
Go.
Our 10 men create the money for themselves. What they create is not debt to pay back, but dividends to circulate. The credit that circulates on the island is a social credit, based on the production of the island and on the confidence that the island's inhabitants have in their small society. This credit is created by the island's inhabitants, think Bellows Falls, for their own use. When this island is a country and the island's people number in the millions, why shouldn't the same method be used to create the credit for the country in the same way? Why not?
I've no idea why not. Why not, you guys?
Yeah, why not? That's what, all week we're going to wonder why not. In fact, we might go ahead and start thinking about how we can get our little booklets together. We're going to be thinking and stewing together. Are you going to be
Let's
doing
do
that?
a little further. Yesterday was the
One
day to have 2-week extension for your taxes. So there's still some tax people out there going, what do you mean I don't have to pay my taxes? I mean, there's still some people that could get out there and go, okay, give me the penalties. Let's still not fund the war machine.
Or, no, see, I don't mind that.
I mean, that's my
Let's just
personal
come
view.
up with our own method of exchange. Gifting it. We got to get off the air right now. We're at the end. We're at the end.
And we want you to come back because
Come back.
this show is about you guys making
Yeah.
it happen with us.
It's about it together.
And we're grateful for the little segue, and we're going to go get a haircut and trade something for it.
Yeah, yeah.
See you next time.
So this is Kathleen Sims.
And Miss Emily Peyton,
Thank you for being with us together
thank you very
today.
much.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Jake.
do 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 that do 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 that do 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 that